Hi, it's Deanna, and I thought I'd share this with you. I hoped not to share my dog barking, but he decides what he wants to do in this house, unfortunately. He's a little Shih Tzu poodle mix, and he's the boss. So I apologize. So I just got this. It just came in the mail, and it's an 1860s Civil War time frame photo album. It could be just after the Civil War or around the time of the Civil War. And it's a little pocket photo album. As you can see, it's in really good shape for such an old book. Has gilded edged pages. It has a little clip that keeps it shut. And let's begin. So the really neat part about this album is in the front page in pencil, it has some information written. And unfortunately, it's a little hard to make out because it faded with age. And I can't make out what the first word is. Something, it starts with an M, and it says May something. I don't know what the second letter is. Is that a backwards S or and? I don't know. It might be an ampersand. And Bridley. So it looks like the last name of this person was Bridley. What I'll do is I'll do some, or actually, is that a G, the first letter? Grady, Gridley. It's probably Bridley. And, or, yeah, something like that. And from Morenci, Michigan. And then below that, unfortunately, it looks like the pencil has worn away or someone tried to erase it for some reason. And it's another area of Michigan. I don't know what the first word is. I'm not familiar with Michigan. And then the coup de grace is that it has a date on it. So it was presented to the person named above on January the 7th in 1865. And I think that's really, really, really neat. So let's begin. So on the first page, we have an elderly looking woman. She is wearing all the garb of that time frame. And as you can see, unfortunately, the photograph has some wear to it. But her dress is pretty unique and amazing. That was a Civil War time frame ladies' day dress that they used to wear. And it was like gigantic. The skirt was poofed out with a hoop. And I really like the clothing of that time. Let's see. The second photo is of a little girl. And she's leaning up against the table. And let me try to zoom in to show you more detail. And it's really pretty. Now this is definitely like during the Civil War time frame. And whenever you see the cartouche in the center, that's a dead giveaway that it's probably like mid 1860s. And it's of a man with a beard. And he had long hair, long like wavy hair. His cheeks are slightly tinted. And this is a really nice photograph. So I'm going to continue. And now we have what appears to be some tintypes. And these are 1860s tintypes for sure. And as you can see, the cheeks were tinted very nicely. Now, during the 1870s and up, tintypes then became very poorly made. But during the 1860s, that's when tintypes were basically in their heyday. And photographers did a really good job of taking photos and executing hand tinting on them. Here's the other one. This looks like a stern-looking, angry woman. She was probably pissed off because it took like 10 minutes for the shutter to go off. Unfortunately, early photographs, it was the equivalent to going to the dentist and getting a root canal. Everybody hated to sit still for that long of a time, especially children. Children had it the worst. So now again, we have another tintype, and it's of a Civil War period gentleman with a really nice beard. And the photographer did a good job of tinting the cheeks. Again, we have another tintype, and this looks like an elderly lady. And if you see like a fog going around in the center, in like a circular pattern, this may have been once in a union case. They used to put tintypes in the 1860s in union cases. And then they did come out with these little paper sleeves that go around it. But then again, this may have once have been in a union case, which was like generally made out of some kind of like gutter percha material or thermoplastic material that looked like leather. Now we have a little child, so it's a small little baby. And on the lower corner of the photo, you can see a hand. You see fingers. So it appears to be that a mother was trying to make sure the child didn't fall. And so they call that hidden mother. You can see he's actually sitting on a lady's lap because you can see the bottom of a dress. And so we have hidden mother. Here's another equally nice 1860s photograph, and it appears this girl has freckles. Here's another hidden mother photo, and it's of a baby. And you can see the mother's hand to the left holding the child still. And the child appears to be seated on a couch of some sort. Now we have another tintype. This one looks like the late 1860s. So we have some cool pictures. Bear with me. And this album was meant to be like a travel album, so it didn't hold that many photos, unfortunately. This is a very, very worn old photograph again, definitely 1860s time frame. It's of a mother, and she's wearing a gigantic hoop skirt dress. And she has her son with her in the picture. And it's very nice. And we have an adorable, adorable little tintype of a little girl. And the photographer did a good job of tinting the cheeks. Oops. Another tintype here of a small child. Now, when you see these fringed chairs, so like the arm of the chair, you see how it has fringe on it? This is how you can date a photograph. Between the 1860s and the 1870s, they had these photo prop chairs. And the arms on these chairs could be raised or lowered, depending upon how the photographer wanted to pose the person. You would not generally see these type of fringed chairs after the Civil War or the end of the 1860s. It just died out. I apologize. That was incorrect. You would probably see that up until about 1870, 1875 or so. So anything like after that, then you know that the photograph is probably 1880s or later. Here's another tintype. And it's in that paper sleeve. This was a Civil War time frame, like probably mid 1860s to late 1860s time frame, when you see the stars going around in a paper sleeve. This is just after like tintype started to become more affordable, and people didn't keep them in the union cases anymore. Now those leather looking union cases most times cost way more than the photograph itself. So as you can see, photography is evolving to become more affordable around this time. And last but not least, we have two ladies. Actually, the guy looked like a lady for a moment. We have a gentleman and his wife. And this is, again, definitely Civil War era or just after the Civil War. And it's a neat photograph. He's holding a book. It could be a Bible. And when people held books, it either showed that they were churchgoers, or somebody was involved in the church, like a reverend, or it meant knowledge, that they knew how to read, and it showed that they were educated. So I hope you like this video. I enjoy sharing these old Victorian photographs because I enjoy history and finding out how people used to live. It fascinates me. And thanks for watching.